Hello, everybody. I'm Randy Mills, your Sports History Now host, where we bring Kentucky's greatest sports memories alive, one story at a time. And boy, do we have an amazing guest today who I'm so thrilled to introduce, Maci Morris, Bell County High School, Miss Kentucky basketball in 2015. From Pineville, Kentucky, pretty special, especially in my family. My mother and father were Pineville High School graduates, Bell Countyans, and every time, every game, every UK game that Maci played, for my mom and dad, it was the radio if it wasn't on TV, or it was the TV if it was on television. We loved Maci without question. Maci, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys asking me out today.
Yes, indeed. Well, we got to begin with the name Maci, Maci Morris. Now, we're going to talk some about your mom and dad being fantastic basketball players, both college basketball players, in fact. So we know that they grew up as Kentuckians. Your father, a Cumberland High School graduate in Harlan County, your mother, a Harlan High School graduate. And I would imagine they were Big Blue basketball fans. So along comes a daughter. Now, I do believe that the University of Kentucky won the national basketball championship in 1978 with a point guard named Kyle Maci. Is there any connection there, Maci? Like, how did you get this name, Maci?
Oh, you know, my dad, big Kentucky fan. Kyle Maci was one of his favorite players to watch, and when they were trying to decide what to name me, he threw that name out because of Kyle Maci, and my mom really liked it, and she agreed, and so they named me Maci after him.
It sounds like it was meant to be that you would ultimately wear the blue and white one day. And before we get into your growing up, which we want to talk a lot about your elementary school years and some of those elementary school tournaments and basketball camps you attended and the work ethic and all that led to your tremendous success on the court, I do want to focus just a moment or two on your parents. And let's begin with your mother. If you'll give us your mom's name, let us know just about her high school years and the fact that she did play in the Sweet 16, and maybe something about the college choice that we made, if we want to start with your mom, if you would.
Yeah, so my mom's name is Maci Morris. Her maiden name was Myers. She played for the Harlan Green Dragons. Mm-hmm. They did go to the Sweet 16. I think they were one of the first teams to make it to the state tournament, I might be mistaken, but I'm thinking they're one of the first. Uh-huh. And then she eventually went on to play collegiately at Trancey.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Transylvania.
Ma'am. Transylvania University, yes.
And she played there, and then that was pretty much it with her.
Yeah. Now, tell me about one of her teammates that has been a lifelong friend of hers, and maybe how there's a little bit of correlation there between her good friend and a daughter she had, if you would.
Mm-hmm. So her best friend since kindergarten is Debbie Green, or Debbie Hoskins. And like I said, they've been best friends since kindergarten, played basketball together all through grade school and high school. And then Debbie had a daughter named Blair, who is now one of my best friends, if not my best friend. I consider her more of a sister, really.
Yes.
And we got the chance to not only play against each other growing up, but we got to play with each other at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, that's amazing. Of course, Blair is a Harlan County High School graduate, and with you being a Bell County High School graduate, pretty good 13th region rivalry.
Oh yeah,
there, no doubt. It's pretty good to have the mother gene into the body of a potential athlete. Now, what about the father gene? Your dad, Lewis Morris, also an outstanding high school basketball player and collegiate player, and maybe you'll say something too about his wonderful coaching career. But tell us a little about your dad, if you would.
Yeah, so my dad went to Cumberland High School in Harlan County. He played basketball and baseball. Senior year, he was actually the male athlete of the year. He went on to play collegiately at ETSU, East Tennessee State, for basketball and baseball.
Cool.
Some connections there. Actually, he was, I don't know if he was roommates or he was just teammates with Scott Daniel, who is Cash Daniel's
that's
father. And then my dad ended up transferring to LMU, where he was then roommates with Blair Green's dad, LG Green.
Wow. Now, LG Green, I believe, was obviously a fantastic high school basketball player. I think a Middlesboro high school graduate. Yes, indeed. And we might mention that LG Green and his wife, Debbie, Blair Green's parents, LG, and Debbie coach together now at Pineville High School.
Yes.
They're in the girls program, and they've just done a fabulous job with the Pineville Lady Mountain Lions program for sure. So, gosh, I'm just learning so much this morning. And then your dad, what about with coaching?
Coaching, he started out in Tennessee at Horace Maynard, and then went on to coach at Hazard High School. Where he was there, I think 4 years.
And that's
maybe.
where you were born?
I was born, I was born in Hazard. He won a couple region championships there, and then moved to Maynardville, Tennessee, where he coached Union County. I'm not super familiar with how Tennessee does their tournaments, but I know he won some pretty big tournaments over there. And then we moved to Frankfort, where he coached at Franklin County for 2 years, and then we eventually landed in Bell County.
Right. Well, let's back up just a bit. You've mentioned some of your father's teammates at East Tennessee State University, also Lincoln Memorial University. I want to toss in a little historical perspective on his high school career at Cumberland High School. I'm close friends with Richie Farmer, and Richie and I have talked about the 1985 13th Region Championship game pitting Clay County against Cumberland High School. We've discussed that many times, and I was just flabbergasted as Richie shared with me the caliber of talent that Cumberland High School had on that basketball team. Can you remember your dad being a senior and eventually to sign with East Tennessee State University, a couple of his other teammates' names maybe, and how they fit in the picture of also being great athletes?
So one of his teammates, good friends, is Freddie Maggard, who eventually signed with University of Kentucky to be their quarterback. And then another one is Paul Gaffney, who ended up going to be a Harlem Globetrotter.
That's crazy. And as solid as Clay County was, with an amazing basketball coach named Bobby Keith, that game ended up Clay County 48, Cumberland 47. Unbelievable. And in that 1985 season, Clay County eventually played in the state championship game. Really had Hopkinsville just about beaten, but Hopkinsville beat Clay County by 1 point in that 1985 state championship game. And it just shows you in a small high school like Cumberland High School, it's almost unfathomable to think that a group of boys of that athletic stature could come along and be together at the same time. One last family note, if you will. I know you have a brother. If you'll just share something about him with us.
Yeah, so my brother, he went to Bell County as well. He played basketball and baseball, so he got to play underneath my dad.
That's cool.
Sometimes a good thing, sometimes not so good. And then he decided to go into ROTC at EKU, where now he is actually a officer, he's a captain now in the Army, and he's currently living in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
That's great. Do you remember the first time you had a basketball in your hand?
Oh, no. I mean, it was a young age where I do not remember that. I've seen pictures where I'm pretty young with one in my hand, but I do not remember it.
You had the opportunity to be in the gym a ton because of your father's coaching. Is that something, did you grow up kind of in the gymnasium, as he was opening the doors day in, day out for practices and so forth?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had people tell me stories about when I was like 1 and 2 years old. I'm just like crawling around or running around, just causing a little bit of trouble, and my dad starts yelling at me during the middle of their practices and things like that, especially at Hazard. That was like the first gym I was really in at Memorial.
Yes.
And then I started going to basketball camps whenever we were in Union County, Tennessee, And like my mom actually has like old VHS tapes of me at the basketball camp, and it was funny to watch those.
As you moved, when was the first time you got into a team setting with basketball? What grade would you have been in?
I was in second grade. I was at Wright Fork Elementary, which is in Bell County. And my mom was actually coaching, and so that's when I started. I was on a team. Was in second grade.
And what grades were included on that team?
So I was playing with like the 5th and 6th graders.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you all have countywide championship tournaments and that sort of thing?
Yes, we did.
Was that a big deal?
Yeah, for a kid, yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, anytime you got to compete as a kid, you loved it. So it was always a fun environment to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. When do you think that? At what age can it kick in for a young person that maybe you can be a player? Maybe where also you kind of begin to develop a work ethic. You want to have the ball in your hands. You lay in your bed at nighttime and throw the ball up for form shooting and catch it. And tell us some of that, how it evolved a little bit in your mind, or even as a 3rd, 4th, 5th grader. Your love of the game. Did you ever get a little tired of it a little bit at that, or was it just, hey, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I would say, early on my dad played a huge part, and my mom, but just like really just installing in me the confidence of being a good basketball player, and that comes with a lot of hard work and putting the time in. So I loved it at a young age. I wanted to be in the gym all the time. A lot of my friends growing up were dudes, were guys, and so I got to play against them in school, after school, and so just playing against them helped me build my confidence up. And I don't really know if there's a certain point, but it was always, in my mind, I wanted the ball. I wanted at the end of the game, if you needed to play, I wanted to be that person to go do that. And I would say around 5th, 6th grade is when I really started to, think like, hey, I can make something out of this. And so I really started putting the work in. 6th grade is when I started playing AAU over in Tennessee, and that really helped elevate my game and kind of separate me from other people around the area. And then so 7th grade started playing on the high school team. That gave me confidence as well. Also helped me evolve my game, just playing against a lot of older and stronger girls. And then around that age, I would say, I could play at the next level. And then it was probably around the summer, going into my 8th grade year, was when I really realized like I can go to a Division I school and play basketball.
Were you going to different camps in the summertime along the way, or any exposure camps, or what were some of your summers like? And of course, I guess with travel ball as well.
Yeah, so AAU helped me, make a lot of connections with different people. One of those is Brandon Clay. He's down in Georgia. He has different things going on now, but at that time he ran a lot of like exposure camps and tournaments, and so I would go down to his camps a lot with his thing was Any Gym is Home and Prospect Nation, and so got to do a lot of things with him. And then would go to different colleges. I went to Louisville, UK, LMU's camps, Dayton, Ohio, University of Dayton. I'm sure there's other camps I went to. I went to UT's camp one year. And then obviously some like other high school camps. I think I might have went to a Georgetown camp.
Right.
Lindsey Wilson. There's a lot.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you talked about being a 7th grader and playing on the varsity. I have a few notes, of course, and I think even in that year you scored 226 points as a 7th grader, and of course you just took off from there. And let's talk about those high school years first. As far as an overview, we know you scored 3,368 points in your career. at the time, it was like the 6th all-time leading scorer in the history of girls basketball in Kentucky. Certainly you were 3-time All-State, both Courier Journal and Lexington Herald, an All-American, coveted Miss Kentucky Basketball Award in 2015, just amazing. In fact, an overall high school career record of 141 wins and only 42 losses. And working at it year in and year out, of course, the goal of winning the region and making the Sweet 16. But let's kind of chart this a little bit and tell us about a few of your seasons where maybe you fell a little bit short. You got to the regional semifinals, or you won a district championship, or you didn't win a district championship. But the emphasis that you had on high school basketball, and maybe how, I guess, serious was your dream of saying, man alive, I want to play in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, so, early on, I always wanted to go to the state tournament. That's the end goal, right, is you want to be the best. And I think that's what's so special about Kentucky high school basketball is there's only one champion. And to say that you are that champion is a huge honor. And so early on, I would say like 7th to 8th grade year, I didn't take it, or I didn't realize like how serious it was. I was still pretty young.
Right.
But definitely once I got to high school, that was a big goal of mine. And so me and my teammates, we worked really hard at that to try to make that goal. Freshman year, it was a long time ago. Can't really remember where we fell in the region tournament. But the next year, we made it to the region championship game, fell short. I don't even want to talk about that because,
of course,
Was
it motivating though? Do you think motivating?
I was definitely motivating. The next year, we were in the championship game. No, I lied. Semi-championship or semifinals. We just got beat. We just got outplayed. But my senior year, I do remember obviously this was my last go around, and I just remember going in the locker room, getting the girls together, and be like, "Hey, this is our year. I'm going to push you all as hard as you can. I want you guys to hold me accountable as well." I was like, "Sometimes you're not going to like me, but I was like, just remember, I'm doing this because I want us to come out on top at region this year." I was like, "So, don't take it personal, but understand we got to go this year and we got to get it done."
Well, those are qualities of a true leader, no doubt. Were there a couple of 3 girls or so maybe who were in this journey with you pretty much through your high school years? Did you have a couple of 3 other seniors on that team that went to the Sweet 16?
So there was only me and another girl who were seniors, which is Jessica Sanders, who was our point guard, which we were together from our freshman year up, and she's a great point guard, just had a great basketball mind, amazing passer. And so she helped out big time with us. And then we had a lot of, other great players. Kelly Smith was a good player. She unfortunately broke her leg in the district tournament my senior year. But she was a huge part, and she helped add fuel to our motivation of winning. We wanted to play for her and win for her. And then we had Zoe, who was our post player. She actually came in from, lucky for us, she transferred in from Illinois. Her grandma lived in Pineville, and her and her sister came down to live with her, and she was a huge asset for us. And then Allison Howard, she was one of our guards. We put her on whoever we needed to get shut down defensively, and she did a great job of that. Katrina Johnson, Sarah Collins. I could go down the list, with players that helped attribute to winning the region tournament.
And it takes that cohesiveness and that, or setting that team goal and sticking to it, just like you mentioned. In your senior year, of course, averaging 26 points a game, also getting 8-9 rebounds a game. But tell me about some of the junk defenses that you saw. And I know you had to play through some frustration in that regard, but I think about such a marked person as yourself and still being able to score well over 3,000 points in a career when the other coach's strategy is we have to shut down Maci. We've got to hold Maci. So I don't know. Just even your coach Teague, of course, and coaching at home. how did you work through some of that, and able to get your shots and understand, hey, this is just the way things are going to be, and I have to play through it, and I'm not going to get all the calls. Things along that line too. The athletic ability that you had to make it happen, and also the mental aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I think just being a coach's kid, I had a little bit of an advantage, just like learning at an early age how to read defenses and learning how to get open. And from early on, I had to learn because I was usually the best player on my team, and so people was throwing junk defenses at me at an early age. So I got to learn early on that how to facilitate those. And in high school, I did see a lot of box and ones, sometimes double teamed, or they just like have someone on me the whole time and just like have everybody help to my side type of things. But the good thing about that is people try to tone in on me, it leaves to somebody else open. And so that's where you have to trust your teammates, to make the right plays. And when they start hitting shots and someone else is doing well, it takes the pressure off me, and so then they can't wholly focus on just me. And then just the mental aspect, there was some times where it did get a little bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, like, I loved it. Like, it motivated me. That's what got me going. People, like, in my head, it's not, oh man, I got two people guard me as men. Oh yeah, you need two people to guard me. So
I love it.
I love that aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, in that senior year, I noted that you only had 2 regular season losses. One was a 1-point heartbreaker, and one was an overtime game. So almost a perfect regular season. Noting that one of your teammates broke her leg, I know that made for big motivation. But so can you go back and take us in your mind, wanting to make it to the Sweet 16, now we're getting ready to go into the 13th region tournament, your district champions. What were you thinking then? I know you just have to take it one game at a time, but I'm sure in your mind you could just see like, oh my gosh, maybe I can hold up that 13th region championship trophy and really make my dream come true. How was the team and your mindset as you went into the regional tournament and, as you said, your last go-around in senior year?
I do remember like the game that happened, we were pretty tore up because she was one of our really good friends. She's one of my best friends still to this day. I talk to her every other day. But, again, it's like you can't dwell on that. And so we kind of like had to come together and we're like, we're going to do this for her, and that she was our motivation to make sure like we did win this thing. We didn't want her injury to go happen for nothing, and so we just kind of rallied around her. We rallied around each other, and we just, we worked hard, and we had our goal, and at that point, I felt like everybody's mindset was pretty strong on winning, and I didn't really have too much doubt of we were going to get the thing done.
Describing emotions is kind of hard to do sometimes in words. Emotions just flow. But can you remember even sitting back maybe the night after the championship or just as it was happening? I know you had a pretty big win that night. The feeling, what was it like to know that you were regional champions and state tournament bound?
It was a lot of excitement, obviously, but just kind of like a relief as well. Just, finally say, the hard work paid off, we did it, and we got to go experience the Sweet 16 over at Diddle Arena. Yeah.
Can you remember, was there a big celebration? I mean, the town really pulling behind the team and being so excited for the team. Did y'all have any kind of big celebration in the gym after the regional championship?
Oh, yeah. We had like a police escort home. We were riding through the town, everybody's honking, cheering. Get to the high school, and they just kind of had like a little, I don't even know how to explain it, just like a congratulatory celebration for us in the gym.
Well, we know with our Sweet 16, which is, as you said, it's the most special high school state basketball tournament in America. We only crown one state champion. We have a blind draw for the Sweet 16 tournament. And Bell County happened to draw the eventual state champion.
Yeah.
So maybe we get to the Sweet 16, win a couple games, maybe get to the championship game, but we drew the best team in the state right out of the box. It was Covington Holy Cross who who won it all that year. But as far as being there and being on the big stage, do you have recollections of kind of preparing, running out to warm-ups that day? Maybe a few more jitters than usual, maybe not. But what do you recall from that experience?
I remember, I never hardly got nervous for basketball games, ever. And I don't think I was nervous for that game, but I was a little bit more amped up for that game than others, because that was our first time being in that situation. But Holy Cross had an amazing team. They had, I think, 4 or 5 Division I players on that team. They had 2 twins that were like 6'3", both 6'3" post players. They had really good guards. So it was a tough matchup. But I had to lose to somebody. I wanted to be the state champion.
That's right.
So
you can say that.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Well, when you're 3-time All-State, All-American, the college coaches are going to come calling. Tell us a little bit about the recruitment process. I'm sure you began to receive inquiries, mail, as a freshman, certainly as a sophomore in high school. I'm sure the mail was just pouring in, and the various types of communication that coaches have with prospective high school athletes. Tell us about that recruitment process as it started to get a little bit hot and heavy, and how it played out.
Yeah, so I remember I was in 7th grade. We were actually playing at it was summer ball over at LMU, and their coach came up to me. He was like, I don't expect you to come here. He said, but just know if you ever want to come back home, like, you have a scholarship here with us. And I was like, thank you. So I guess that was my first offer, but I guess my first official offer was my 8th grade year. Jeff Walls at Louisville offered me a scholarship to play there. And then later on, I got more offers from different colleges. But it's an interesting experience for sure. I tell people all the time, I was like, I'm not a very extroverted person. And so having to just talk to complete strangers, and, it was a little bit out of my comfort zone. But it was really cool just, to build those relationships, get to know these coaches. I eventually got to play against a lot of them. Actually, 2 of the coaches that recruited me heavily to Dayton ended up being on staff at UK my freshman year, and that was just amazing. I love both of them so much. And they played a huge part of me, in my career at UK, even though they didn't coach after that year. And then I ended up committing pretty early compared to most people. I committed that fall of my junior year. And the story's kind of crazy. I tell people, I'm like, I never really visited UK other than just going to basketball games. I didn't know anything about the campus. I didn't know really much about the school. UK at the time wasn't even one of my top 3 choices.
Who did you feel were your top 3?
I would probably have said Louisville, Dayton, and probably either Marquette or NC State.
Gotcha.
And then we had some home visits, like Dayton's head coach and assistant coaches came to my house, TCU, and then I had some others lined up, but then UK was the 3rd one, and Coach Mitchell came, watched me work out, and we were sitting there eating, and we had a great conversation then, and then afterwards he had his whole presentation and where he saw me fit in the program and everything, and the whole time I just had this feeling of I don't know, most people, you may not be religious, but I'm very religious, and I just felt like God was telling me, he was saying, commit here, and that just kept going on in my head, and so that night he was like, do you have any questions, do you have any comments, and I was like, I want to commit. And he was like, you do? And I was like, yeah, I do. And so, it was fun, obviously was congratulating me and super excited for that. And people were just like, so what made you go to UK? And I was like, God.
There we go.
I was like, it's God.
No better reason.
Yeah.
No better reason than that.
Yeah. So.
Did you make a couple of phone calls to a couple of those special coaches at other schools?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit tough, huh?
It was, especially the Dayton coaches. I built a really strong relationship with them, and So it was kind of hard telling them no, but then it ended up working out because they
Sure.
came
that
to
was
UK.
pretty cool.
And then, obviously Coach Walls, he's been a really big supporter of mine, even in college and stuff and after. So, it's hard, you build those connections and then you have to tell them, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not coming.
Yeah. Well, what about the adjustment to college life, and what was it like to begin your life on the University of Kentucky campus in Lexington? And it's just so different, of course, for any high school athlete as they go into that college freshman year with all the new demands and the time demands and the studies along with it. But how was that for you to be away from home and getting into a extremely high-level Division I basketball program and those demands that come with it?
Oh yeah, so I mean, you're going in, you're a teenager, and you finally get, basically you're free from like your house, and you don't have your parents there telling you what to do, and then on top of that, like you have to juggle classes, workouts, team workouts, and other like volunteer work and all kinds of different stuff, and your life, your just like social life. And so one good thing, one of the coaches, Coach Mitchell, was really good about just keeping us organized. We'd meet every Sunday and basically had to write out our schedule for the week. So that just helped us stay like on top of things. One of the assistant coaches at UK at the time, Coach Amadou, he was like, if you focus your freshman year, just focus on school, basketball, your other 3 years are going to be a lot easier. And so like I took that to heart and I did that. And he was right. It made my life a lot easier because then I was able to, I wouldn't say coast, but it just made a more smooth transition for those next 3 years.
Well, here's what that good advice that you followed played out as you moved through your 4-year University of Kentucky basketball career. 1,692 career points. That's sixth all-time on the UK scoring list. 252 career three-pointers, second all-time. In your senior year, you hit 48% on three-pointers. That's phenomenal and pretty much unheard of. We're going to talk a bit about that, but I want to throw a few of these accolades out that we'll tie back into, because we're talking a good bit about basketball, but how about 4-time SEC academic honor roll? I'm sure that's something that brings great pride to you and of course to your parents. Randy asks about the adjustment. Well, pretty good. SEC all freshman team, so I guess you adjusted pretty well as a freshman. Also 2019 in your senior year, the SEC Scholar Athlete of the Year. You mentioned something about community service, SEC community service team in 2019. Of course, all SEC first team as well. Tell us just maybe a little bit about outside of basketball with, say, community service, but also the studies and how you did take pride in being the best you could be in both arenas, academically, athletically. Tell us a little bit about Maci Morris in those ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, my parents both being teachers, they took education very seriously. My mom more so than my dad, but she really pushed me to make sure like I always did well, and being competitive as I am, I wanted to be not just the best in basketball, I wanted to be the best in the classroom for myself as well. And so that pushed me. We had an amazing academic advisor at UK, Tiffany Hayden. She was just fantastic. She always had this little saying to us, she's like, go be great. And I still have her voice in the back of my head. UK does a good job too of like our freshman class. We all had to get like 8 hours a week in study hall. So that's like you go to a room, can't have your cell phones out or anything. It's just you're strictly there to do your like homework or studying, whatever you had to get done. And so again, just focusing really hard that freshman year kind of set the groundwork for how to build upon that the next 3 years. As far as like volunteer work, we had one of our coaches every year was in charge of that, and so they would set up opportunities for us to do, go and volunteer at different places. Sometimes people would just reach out to me and ask if I would like to volunteer at certain areas, and and I would do it. I wanted to help the community as much as I could. And so it was a good balance for both. And then it was also fun getting to volunteer with your teammates. It made it fun because, you know, they're all characters in their own way.
As I mentioned, my mom and dad cheering you on in a huge way, and me right alongside with them. We were always very happy when you got to the free throw line. How hard did you work at your free throws? Guess for anyone listening to this podcast, I'm going to throw out Kyle Maci's name again. He was that famous free throw shooter with his routine of touching both of his socks with his hands before he shot it. I can still see that. Maybe something about your routine, but taking pride in it. But an 86% free throw shooter at the University of Kentucky. How did you feel as you were stepping to the free throw line and trusting your preparation and so forth?
Oh, I was very confident in my free throw shooting ability. In high school, like, I remember one time I made a bet with my coach. I was like, if I hit 50 free throws in a row, I was like, you got to run a suicide. He ended up not running the suicide, but I did hit 50 in a row. But again, like, my dad always told me, he's like, you know, free throws can determine a game. And so, like, again, I wanted to be that difference maker, like, at the end of the game where someone needs to go get the basketball to put 2 points up on the scoreboard. I wanted to be that person. And so, like, you know, I worked really hard at my free throws. I wanted to be someone that my teammates could count on to go do that and get it done. And a lot of my teammates did. I remember, like, Michaela Epps would yell at me, and she's like, go get the ball.
Yeah, right.
So, you know,
so you'll be the one going to the
line. So I loved it. As far as my routine, I had the same routine since I was, like, I can remember. Like, one of my lucky numbers is 3, so, like, everything I did in my routine was, like, with the number 3. So I'd, like, spin the ball out, and I'd dribble 3 times while moving my feet 3 times, and then I'd, like, actually, I lied. So I'd spin the ball out, catch it, I'd tap my foot 3 times, dribble 3 times, move my feet 3 times, and I'd catch, inhale, and then when I'd shoot, I'd exhale every single time. And so, yeah, it was just, like, I think having that in my head every time kind of, like, helped block everything else going around out of my mind and just helped me focus on what I needed to do.
Yeah. Let's think about maybe you mentioned Michaela Epps, just something about maybe another teammate or two, but Ryan Howard, who goes on to be the #1 pick in the WNBA draft. Maybe a memory or two about playing with a Ryan Howard or a couple of your teammates at UK.
Well, I can't leave out my girl, Taylor Murray.
For sure.
I mean, we came in together as freshmen. We were roommates for 4 years. She was my point guard for 4 years, and so we built this really great bond, and she's one of my best friends today. She's still playing overseas. She's
That's super.
Yeah, currently in Lithuania. But we have all kinds of memories. Me, her, Epps. We got to play with Epps for 2 years, and one of my favorite memories is we were playing Mississippi State on Michaela's and Evelyn Akator's senior night, and I think they were ranked top 10, I think maybe 6th in the nation at the time. It was a really big game, and we ended up winning that game. Michaela hit kind of a last-second shot to win the game, and it was just an amazing feeling, a great time to just celebrate with them, especially on their senior night. And, you know, people talk about Michaela Epps. I mean, she was an amazing basketball player, but she was an amazing teammate as well. Like, I tell people all the time, I was like, you can't have or ask for a better teammate than Michaela, because not only is she a great player, but, like, she's going to hype you up, and she's going to give you the confidence you need to be a good player as well. So I love her for that. And then, you know, obviously getting to play with an amazing talent like Ryan Howard it was an honor getting to play with her. Obviously, I only played 1 year with her, but even as a freshman, like, we all knew what she was going to be. It was very obvious that she was just extremely talented.
Right. Yeah. Those are super memories. Let's do just a memory lane quickly. Maybe just elementary basketball and so forth, and then maybe the high school basketball years at Bell County. Just 2 or 3 of your most special memories that you'll just continue to take with you throughout life from those kind of precious days in growing up.
Elementary, I'd say, you know, we won multiple back-to-back county championships. One of my best friends growing, like, in school, me and her played shoot, I guess 4 or 5 years together in elementary school, and then we went to high school, and she was a year behind me, but we got to play high school ball together as well, and so just having that fun time with her was amazing. And then high school, obviously, you know, not just winning the region championship, but like I loved the Christmas tournaments we'd go on. Like I feel like we as a team built and just like really got a stronger bond with one another just because we got to spend time with each other more and get to be around each other, not just in a basketball setting, but just to have fun. And so that we didn't win many Christmas tournaments, but we had a good time, and that helped us, I think, later on with the tournaments that mattered. And then college, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can pin just one down. There's so many. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's the people you're doing it with, and that's what's really important in the friendships and relationships you make there.
Well, you know, in life after college, I want to get everybody caught up a bit with what you're doing now, and but also as far as giving back. You know, you talked about attending numerous basketball camps across the country. I think that you are giving back too, and haven't you conducted a few basketball camps this day and time?
Yes, so once I got done playing in Italy, I came back. We did 2 or 3 camps back in Bell County, and then I did one in Hazard, and then I did one with Blair and Emma King, Cassidy Rowe. We did like a 606 camp, and basically what we did was we raised money for the flooding of Eastern Kentucky that year, and we gave all that money to them, or to like a foundation that helped with that. And then
Is that something you get a lot of enjoyment from doing that with the young ones?
I love, you know, inspiring kids because, you know, basketball gave me such a huge platform and gave me so many opportunities that if I didn't play basketball that I would never got. And so, like, I want to inspire kids, you know, to love the game like I did so that maybe one day they get the opportunities that I did as well. And so, yeah, I really enjoy it.
That's fantastic. And we're in London, Kentucky today with you, where you have your home. And tell us a little bit about the life of Maci Morris today in London.
Yeah, so I work at the St. Joseph Hospital here. I work in the ER as a physician assistant. I've been here for 3 years, which is kind of crazy, I think. But I'm also helping coach at South Laurel.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
And we actually have a game today. So
that's super.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Now, I think y'all kind of have a young team right now. Is that right? A lot of really good young players coming up?
So we have currently one senior, Aubrey Bundy, just aggressive kid. Just like she does all like the hard-nosed work, and that's what you need to have a good basketball team. And then we have 2 juniors, kind of leaders of the team, along with Bundy, with Skeeter Mabe and Macy Messer, and then the rest of them are like basically freshmen. And we have 2 freshmen starting. Our 6th person off the bench is a 7th grader.
Wow.
We play a lot of freshmen and sophomores, like a very young team.
I'm going to have to go on record then and say, watch out, 13th region.
Oh, yeah.
There's some big days ahead, without question, getting all that valuable experience and playing with the younger squad for sure. Well, as we look at all of your accomplishments, Maci, I know sometimes still, I guess, rather young in your life to state it that way. It's humbling, I'm sure, just to know of the impact that you've had. And it's something that means a lot to me personally. Many folks know that my father, Tom Mills, was commissioner of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and from Pineville, Kentucky. And so to have an ambassador come from his hometown and impact lives throughout and beyond our state, but especially throughout our state and especially in southeastern Kentucky, if I may say that, is something that's such a source of pride. Many of the morals and that sort of thing that you grew up with a person are very similar to the way I grew up, and to a location that my heart goes out to. And when we have ambassadors such as yourself from the area that my parents are from, it's just very encouraging, and we never know how when you impact one life and then another life is impacted and then another life is impacted. So I just want to really commend you for being that role model for so many young people across the state of Kentucky, and now too knowing that you are in coaching and giving back. And really following in your mom and dad's footsteps. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
I guess we'll, one of these days when that time comes, we'll all be curious to know how you're going to name child number 1 and child number 2 and what you may have up your sleeve.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting for me, too.
How about that? Oh, boy. Well, that's fantastic, Maci. You've just been so good to speak with this morning, and such a legend when it comes to women's basketball in the state of Kentucky, and to hear your story and your work ethic, the time that you put in is just beyond. And we might just end with that. I think maybe we didn't hit that just enough. Tell me, in the summers, I mean, how much time did you spend in the gym? Just tell us what kind of work ethic you had to adopt in order to reach those goals.
I was in the gym every day. Yeah, unless I was like on vacation, which was very rare because, you know, my dad's schedule and my schedule, like with basketball, it was very rare we ever got to go on vacation. But yeah, if I wasn't in the gym, I was outside with my basketball hoop outside. And if I wasn't doing that, I was inside watching basketball. I absolutely loved it.
Well, I think that's a message that we're so glad to impart today, is that with that type of work ethic can come really great things, and goals can be reached, which you certainly did. And we thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate speaking with you so much. So this has been Randy Mills for Sports History Now, with the amazing story of Maci Morris, from Bell County High School to All-American, Miss Kentucky basketball, record-setting point producer, fantastic three-point shooter. Certainly I could go on and on, but we want to thank Maci so very much as we continue to track some of the most amazing success stories in the history of Kentucky high school sports. Thanks, everyone. And before we close today's show, a big thank you to another of our Sports History Now supporters, Amanda Cutright and her family. The support of friends like Amanda helps us to continue to bring episodes of Sports History Now to life. Sports History Now, found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And you can also find Sports History Now podcasts and a selection of Kentucky sports documentaries on our website, sportshistoryfoundation.org.